Shut up and sit down.
Hello folks, it's Colin here, Festa 67's workshop, and this is the top assembly from the Batman part work. Now, you're probably wondering why I've got this on the bench again. It comes with its own bulb, as you saw in the issue where I assembled this. You get the red cap that goes up in there like that, yeah, and then you get a bulb that comes with the part work. Just move that out the way and shove that up under there like that, and then pop that in place. And what you get is you get a pretty bog standard bulb with it that'll just come on and stay on like that. Now that's all well and good. You might like that. That might float your boat. I think I can do a bit better than you, because I've rewatched some of it, the Batman, and yeah, I want it turny-turny, I want it revolving, I want it to do what a proper bulb should do. So I'm gonna have a go at reworking it. So just so that you know, that's what we're up to today, folks. I'll just take that out of there and we'll get rid of that. Because you've seen that just stays on, which is a bit boring, let's be honest with you. Okay, so I'll just make sure that I don't need to change the battery in this little gadget. This is a little PCB that I made myself, just so that I can do this sort of stuff on the bench and test it. But like I say, it's not the most reliable of gadgets, but it does the job. Let's bring one of these in. Now this is a bulb that comes as a little revolving bulb, and what we want to do is we want to try this and see what this looks like and shove this in there instead. That's what I'm after doing. Okay, and that should then give us a turny-turnykins. There you go. That's what you want. A little bit of turny-turny. See? That, I reckon, is going to look better. Okay. So we're going to shove that in there. We're going to modify this again, okay? So the first thing we've got to do, take that reflector off. We don't want that, okay? We'll put that to one side with a bulb. And I've got the adapter for the Batmobile there that came with it, okay? So I need to make sure that I'm putting that on the right wires, okay, folks? So I'm going to quickly check on this one, which was positive, which was negative, purely and simply for my own ends, because, yeah, I want to make sure it's right before we do it. I might actually solder it on right at the very end of the part work build. Right, there you go. That's that bulb. That's what they give you, okay, with the part work. And then that slips up inside here, like so. Gets buried as you put this together in the car. And when you switch it on, which I think's a bit boring, folks, don't you? It's a bit lame, isn't it? It's a bit, yeah, a little bit. And I think we can do better than that. Okay? That's what I think. I think we can do better than that. So we're going to change that out. And we're going to put our own one in. Okay? We don't want that. That's boring. So let's change it out and see what we can do, folks. So let's move that, pop that out of there. What I have got is I've got a different bulb, which is over here. What this comes as a little revolving bulb, so to speak. What I want to do is connect that up like that and see what that looks like. Okay. And as you can see, that does the turny-turny. So we want to swap that into there and replace that, okay? So let's do that now. Pop that off because we don't need that. Just quickly want to check the polarity on this, just to make sure that I'm doing positive and negative in the correct place. because I've got to convert Batman's adapter. Okay, so green is go, grey is go. I lose that, and then this is going to be mated onto the end of this, okay, and shoved up in there. So I need the lens off that, and this is going to go up inside it like that, okay, get slung up in there. So I just want to pull that LED out of there just to see whether I can use that mount as well, because this pushes up the bulb or this cover out the top, and I don't want to lose that ability. That's the theory. So I reckon I can persuade that to fit in there and do its thing. That's what I'm thinking. Or I might be able to wedge that up underneath to shove this bulb up and hold the lamp in place thusly. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. So I need to see what it looks like shoved up in there and what gap I'm going to have. Okay, so let's just move this out. Let's take that off actually, because that retains all of this bulb like so. So I just want to shove that up in there, see what that looks like, and whether I'm going to need to use this to keep this all compressed up there when that mount goes in, okay? Because obviously I'm taking out what came with the kit and replacing it with something else. But I reckon with that in there and this bracket in place, that should hold that in place enough that it keeps that bulb poking out the top there and stops it rattling. That's what we want, okay? That's what I'm thinking. So let's lose all of this and have a play and see what we can come up with. I might actually be able to cheat and feed this through the hole in the middle. Let's have a look. Out of curiosity, Colin, do that. Bring that up that way and sit that on top. Shove that up on there and send all of that lot up in there like that. Then see what this fits like. That's what I'm thinking. Because I need to put that cover back on so that that isn't protruding. That's the theory. Okie dokie. So that poked up there with a single bulb shoved out of its Aris. So I've gained that much. I reckon I could lose that rim off of there and do that. So we're going for it, Colin, aren't we? If you're not comfortable doing this modification, then don't do it. But I'm quite comfortable doing this sort of thing. So let's just get a bit of aggressive sandpaper and smooth that down. Which is to there. So I've shortened the height of that. We can have a little lookykins and see whether this will work now. So let's feed this back through the middle like that. Pull that down just like so. And then we can then shove that all up under there like that. And I reckon then, let's just lose that screw out of there. We could send this across like so. Oh, look at that. And it's going to hold that in place. It's like it was made to measure, see? Brilliant. Oh, I'm over the moon with that. Now, I need to just check on the part whether that went down the front or not. I can't remember. We'll go for it. Shove it in there, Cole, like that. Shove that in there. Get that on there like so. And get a screw in there, mate. Sling that in there like that. There you go. I ain't going nowhere now, is it? Look at that. Tighter than the proverbial, mate. And then what we'll do is we'll look that up and see how that looks. What do you reckon, peeps? So let's pop that on my power supply. Now we've got the yellow and the red going to positive. And then the brown is going to earth, ground. Okay, and that is now that. How cool is that? There you go, one converted Batmobile light that now turns. Oh, looks so much realistic, doesn't it? Much better than just the bog standard red LED that's on all the time. I'm happy with that, folks. So there you go. So we'll just double check if I remember right. Grey was go for live, sorry, and black was for earth. There you go. And that's what they gave us, a bog standard LED, which I thought was rather boring. Happy days. So what we'll do there is we've got some heat shrink somewhere that will go over these wires. So we'll chop a bit of that down and get that prepped. We'll solder that all up and that will be ready to go then, folks. Quickly just test this with this in place. Purely and simply because I want to make sure when I plug it in that I'm right with what I say. So let's just try and line this up so that I can put one of them on there and the other one in situ as well, so that I could test that that plug works. So let's actually have that the right way round, Cole. Grey for go and black for earth. Perfect, look at that. So I now know that that plug is correct as well, like that, okay? So I'm happy now. Let's just slide that down and insulate that from its ground, from its mate, and just quickly double check that. Grey for positive, black for negative. Done. I now know when I put that in my part work, that'll work. So I'm happy. So there you go, folks. That is that suitably modified. And we can now attach this all back together and cover that up. And it's always going to be like we've never been in there, folks. I just want to make sure I've got enough wire poking out that I can solder that, which I can. Solder that first, I think, before I put all of that back on. Now that should tin. Beautiful. Let me taste. Right. Like so. Like so. Give you a bit of that. Sling that in there. Let that cool down. And then we'll bring our heatsink in. Over both of those, just like so. That's what we want. And then I just run my iron along it. Give you a bit of that, and that's nice and melted now. And then you can get it, just squeeze it together like so. And then that should then start sticking together a little bit, like that. Okay. That's what I want. So I'm happy with that. Clean that off. Turn my iron off now because I'm done with her. Put a little bit of tin on there, just protect it. Robert is one's uncle. So now, in theory, bring in my electrodes. Let's move that out of the way for a minute. And then when we apply power, that should now function. That's the theory, folks. Okay. And then we can bring in our power now. So let's just find the little terminals, which are there. And then we can go grey for go, black for ground. Look at that. Perfect. What do you reckon, folks? Yeah. That's my little plug. That's me positive, and that's me negative. Hopefully you like that. So that is now modified. We can leave that, put everything away, and put that away nice and safe now, ready for when that gets fitted into the part work, folks. Hopefully you get where I'm going with that. And that will cool down overnight now, that soldering iron. Right, let's put the covers on. And we can now see that this is beginning to look as it did when it came out of the box, when it was getting built, folks, okay? I just need to feed my cable down and round. It goes along there, and you should now be able to get that in place. So let's pop that through there. But you can see basically where the wire goes. See, it goes all the way down there, like that. So they do give you a little channel that the wire will find its home in, folks, okay? So we'll do that, bring that out around there, and start feeding that through there. There you go, look at that, like a glove. It's almost like it was made to measure, folks, doesn't it? And we can now put this in the model at a later stage. Just turn that. And it's going to look factory. That's the whole idea of me doing these modifications to be part works, is I like them to try to look as near as damn it that's how the kit came. But I'm a scale modeler, as you know, and when I do these part works, I see things in them and I think, oh, I just wish they had done that instead. So I'm going back through all the part works that I've done, doing these little episodes and making a few changes here and there. Might encourage one of you to have a go on your own part work. It's always a worry because you think, yeah, they're a lot of money, and you sometimes worry about modifying the things, but there you go. That proves that you can do it quite easily. And that is now exactly what it looked like when it came out of the part work box. It's got its own plug on there ready for the Batmobile's motherboard that comes in a later issue. But my Batmobile, it's got a super duper spinny light, folks. There you go. Hopefully you've enjoyed that little modification. Have a go yourself, folks. Okay. There's a link in the description below for the bulb that I used. As an Amazon associate, I do, and an affiliate, I do get a commission for anything that's ordered. So I need to say that. But you still pay the same price, folks, okay? So it helps me out, helps me get a little bit of a kickback, and helps me provide funds to keep this channel alive, folks, okay? Until the next one, stay safe and well. Click the festa and subscribe and ring the bell. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.